What's up, everybody, and welcome back. And we need to talk about Jack Reacher because our favorite mountain of muscle just walked into a geopolitical buzzsaw. So over on Prime Video, they have the 3-episode premiere of season 4 of Reacher. And let me tell you something. If you were expecting another quaint little rural town type mystery where Reacher beats up the mayor and punches him through the salon window or some gag like that, then you're in the wrong zip code this time because they've upgraded. The game has completely changed this time. The show actually pulls a very jarring and unexpected move in the opening minutes of this season, and I think it rewires the entire DNA of the show. And the reason I say that is because now it seems like Jack is sort of vulnerable. He's not in his comfortable zone anymore where he's doing some vengeance or getting some revenge about a situation or somebody who's wronged him or killed somebody that he loved. This time he's in a different situation. Not to mention that this is probably the most cinematic, best looking season of Reacher that we've had yet. The camera work is glossy, the single take fight scenes linger perfectly, and Alan Ritchson is giving off his peak unstoppable Arnie Terminator vibes. So before we dive into the chaos of how everything went so wrong so fast, consider this your strict spoiler warning for episodes 1, 2, and 3. So if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and hit pause, come back later. So let's go ahead and give a brutally honest vibe check to the massive narrative shift that we have this season. Because as we've seen, the show has taken a hard left turn from the small town rural things to the big city vibes in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. So we're trading in the small town brawls for now deep state CIA espionage. And honestly, I like the direction that the show is going this season so far. I like Reacher on a big scale. I think the small town stuff was fun, but seeing him traverse from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C., I think they may have stopped in Jersey, but either way, just seeing him travel back and forth and have to uncover different mysteries and not having all the answers right in front of him this time, and seeing him with a brand new team is very refreshing and it's very, very fun so far. Now, if I do have one minor frustration is how they get from destination to destination pretty quickly. And I know in these cities, nothing is that close to each other. So that's a little frustrating, but I understand that if we actually took the time to get from Philadelphia to DC, we would need a much longer episode. So I do understand it. It just seems at times that you blink and then they're in a new city. So I guess that's my only real complaint. But another thing that I love about this season so far is the fact that, not that he has it in the past, but we really see Jack Reacher's detective skills coming up because he's using his brain a lot rather than just brute force because of the type of environment that he's in. So I'm really enjoying the direction of this season, the fast-paced psychological thriller that puts Reacher on his back foot. I think it was a great direction to go. But I have to ask you guys right now, how are you feeling about the direction of the show? Are you torn? Do you have any mixed feelings in any type of way? Do you like the sophisticated vibes or do you kind of miss the small town vibes? Drop a comment below and let me know which era of Reacher you like better because it seems like we're definitely going in a different direction. So moving on to the core narrative drivers, we have to talk about what happened at Philadelphia subway at 2 a.m. So Reacher wanders onto a subway train after having a Philly cheesesteak while he's wandering through Philadelphia just minding his own business. He's on the train and he reads this woman, Anna Merrick, that is displaying the 12 signs of a suicide bomber. Now, of course, we see him in this situation. We expect him to quickly disarm her, break her arm or something like that. But no, in this situation, she actually gets to jump on him. She pulls a gun on him, but not to really kill him because I think he messed up when he told her that he was a cop because that immediately put her into a panic. And then she basically blew her own brains out. And that basically sets everything into motion in the season. That sets off this hunt for this heavily encrypted military flash drive. And it seems like that rabbit hole is going to get incredibly deep. We find out later that Anna wasn't some low-level HR worker that she was telling her brother and family members that she actually had a very high security clearance. And then some of our newcomers, Tamara and Jacob, find her second ID badge, which I don't think she's supposed to have, but they find it hidden in her ransacked car that's been missing for a while, proving that she has this level 8 security clearance. And then you have Lila Hoth, who basically played Reacher in the beginning. She fed him this elaborate sob story about having leukemia and needing Congressman Sampson to get a bone marrow transplant because after all, he was her missing father, which ended up being a lie. And she's trying to expose the atrocities of things that happened in Indonesia back in the 1990s. She thinks that Sampson's Delta unit was involved with training some of the bad guys there, and they tortured and they murdered civilians, and She wants to expose them and she wants to hold them accountable for what would be their war crimes. And all of that evidence is on this mystery flash drive. And to make matters a little bit darker and a tad bit deeper, Anna's son Ben is also missing. He's a college student. He was last seen with some girl, some pretty girl, an OnlyFans model. He spent the night with her. But that same model that he spent the night with doesn't seem like things ended well, not at least for her, because we find her tortured to death in a scene that looks straight out of Seven. And I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Seven. It's a little old at this point, but the horror and the gore and violence in that movie holds up today. But finding this girl tortured to death, it seems to me that the CIA, because I do believe that's who's behind this, I think they are the ones who probably are holding Ben hostage at this point, which is probably why Anna was terrified enough to pull that trigger, because whatever she knew, they probably told her that they took her son, and it more than likely coincided with something like this. Keep your mouth shut or we're going to kill your kid. So I guess she said the best way to keep her mouth shut, and this is me just speculating, is to kill herself, because now she can't say anything. So her kid theoretically should be safe. So we'll see if that actually happens. And like I said, that's just me speculating. But it does seem to be leading in that way a little bit. But the only other thing I want to say about the episodes were, I'm glad that they moved from the rural stuff to the big cities, because one, it freshens everything up. And I think it keeps everything from looking like a repeat of previous seasons. It's okay with a little change every now and then. Maybe he can go back to the rural stuff in 2 or 3 seasons. But let's go ahead and talk about our characters, because most of these characters seem to be completely out of their depth. You have Jacob Merrick, who is the grieving brother of Anna. He's also a cop from some small town in Jersey. I think it's Mayberry or something like that. But he's also grieving his sister, but now he's in this mystery to try to find out where his nephew is. So he's along for the ride with the rest of the gang. And then we find out that our other newcomer, Tamara, is constantly getting demoted because she seems to latches onto cases and she just can't let go. And that's not a terrible thing, but she obviously chases things blindly, or maybe she just goes a little bit too deep. And I'm sure we'll see that play out as this season goes on, especially if we get more and more into this case, because this case is twisty, turny already. And then on the political side, because we have a lot of that this season, we have to talk about Congressman Sampson and his wife, Elspeth. I am calling this right now. I actually think John Sampson, especially after the way episode 3 ended, I think he is actually oblivious to everything that is going on around him. I don't think he knows. Now, it is obviously some type of cover up, and the show is going out of its way to emphasize how his wife, Elspeth, is tougher than him and how she's like, the real backbone to everything. So if I had to put my money anywhere, I would put my money on Elspeth having a closet full of dark secrets. Even the way she looks at times, she looks as this mastermind who is pulling strings from behind the scenes and maneuvering all the pieces the way that she wants to. And that's just all the way she presents herself. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we'll see how it all plays out. So let's go ahead and unpack that final frame and the chaotic culmination of episode 3, because the ending of that episode completely changes the rules of the game. So Reacher finally realizes that Nolan Cahill, who is the chief of staff to Sampson, that he was the missing 4th person on the subway train, because he said he saw 4 people on the train and he named them off from head to toe, what they were wearing and everything. And this is from the night that Anna died. But the twist here is he wasn't just Sampson's political aide. He was actually Sampson's commanding officer over in Indonesia, where everything that seems to be driving this mystery seemed to originate from. So when Reacher confronts Sampson again and basically says, you know what, let's go talk to him, Sampson says, hey, let's go talk to him. They go up to the rooftop bar to go talk to him. He's up there getting drunk, obviously feeling some guilt about something. But he doesn't even really give them a chance to talk to him, because he stands up, he utters something. I think he said, you would have made a good president. I can't remember what he said. But after that, he immediately just walks to the ledge and belly drops off and lands on top of a car, and, he's out of there. But that right there is the exact moment where the gravity of everything starts to set in. His death basically mirrors Anna's death. You have 2 people now connected to the same exact Indonesian secret who would rather step off a roof or pull a trigger than talk to Reacher. So that tells me that the information that is on this flash drive are far more terrifying than anybody could probably think of, because somebody had to convince these people that talking about this flash drive or whatever is on its contents is worse than dying. So you guys explain that to me. How can talking about what's on this flash drive be worse than dying? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. So now with Reacher back on the defense, what do you guys think is coming in episode 4? So this is what I think is coming. If you pull all these plot points together and you look at Reacher, Tamara, and Jacob and their little new team that they have, I think we're probably going to start spending more time in DC, and they're probably going to have to take the fight to whoever these people are, because clearly hiding in safe houses and trying to figure this mystery out in a civil way isn't going to work out very well. And apparently people are willing to die for the secret. And at some point, whatever is being hid is probably not going to matter anymore. And it seems like it's going to have something to do with Congressman Sampson maybe being running for president or in the running for president. We'll see how it plays out. I'm just looking forward to some really good violence next week. I really enjoyed these 3 episodes. I found myself laughing a lot. It was really fun to watch. Extremely fast paced. Did not bother me a bit. Like I said, the going from destination to destination kind of whatever. But outside of that, I sat back and enjoyed it. I was laughing my ass off. Honestly, I really enjoy Reacher and his dry humor. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just funny and it's fun and it's a good time. And if you watch this show for anything else, you can definitely just watch it for a good time. So let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what you think about my thoughts and the entire first 3 episodes, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to hype this video as well. And please follow me on all of my socials, because I'm going to start doing more daily updates, or not daily updates, but I will be updating my socials more. But the one thing I will say on my way out is, if I had to rate these 3 episodes altogether, I would probably give them a 9 out of 10. It was a really good time, and I think everybody will enjoy it who watches this show, especially fans of the show and Alec Ritchson. We had him earlier this year in War Machine, which is obviously getting a sequel. And now we get him back in Reacher. And this show, I heard, is going to lead directly into the Neegly show. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think it's going to be a really good time. And with all of that, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for coming.